among the rest of the world.
If you have too much Sierra Nevada, it's the best time you'll never remember.
Right.
Right. Oh, camera guy in the back, camera on the monitor.
No, everyone would play daughter's soccer games. Like we'd be there at 9 a.m. and you could smell it. You're like, oh, I want a beer.
Yeah. Cool. You can go ahead and start. Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
cool. We're gonna get started. Welcome to 1 Million Cups Chico. We're just gonna do a quick overview about the history of 1 Million Cups. We'll have our presentation, a 15-minute Q&A after that, and then some closing statements. So 1 Million Cups is brought to us by the Kauffman Foundation. The Kauffman Foundation works with communities and entrepreneurship and education to increase opportunities that allow all people to learn, take risks, and own their successes. The 1 Million Cups is a free weekly program that educates, engages, and connects local entrepreneurs. Its mission is to lower the barriers of access to education, resources, and connections for all types.
Heather.
I'm trying to get on as a person.
Okay, there you go.
Go back one second. There we go. Okay, so the mission of 1 Million Cups is to lower the barrier of access to education, resources, and connection for all types of new and aspiring entrepreneurs throughout the US. So they started really small in 2012 in Kansas City, and now they have over 160 communities, all with about 1 to 2 presentations a week, a 6-minute presenter, and a 15-minute Q&A. We are here every Wednesday at 9 a.m. on Zoom and at Stonewall Coffee. If you would like to join our community, follow our chapter on the 1 Million Cups platform, 1millioncups.com/Chico. And today we have Jared from ezPro. Are you all ready, Jared?
Yes.
Okay, start sharing your slides and we will get started.
All right, sweet. So I was asked today to show up just to more talk about my journey versus actually pitching my company and practicing that, which I enjoyed doing last time. There's a lot of value add to that for sure. You think you know your company, which I do, but when you go in front of people and you pitch it, it's a little different. So today, again, I'm just going to talk about my journey a little bit, but I'll use my pitch deck just to kind of get some visuals and talk about, you know, the company a little bit, and I'll just kind of, you know, freestyle it a little bit, impromptu. So again, my name is Jared Katzenbarger. I am the founder of ezPro Home Services, and we're basically the Uber or the DoorDash of professional contractor services. So I came up with the idea. I used to be a contractor myself, and I also had the unique experience to be an early adopter of third-party direct ordering services like DoorDash and Uber Eats and all that as a restaurant owner. I had a multi-chain restaurant in Sacramento a few years back. And so I kind of see both sides of it, from the contractor side, from the early adopter side on direct booking. Now, right now, there's competition, there's tools out there to hire contractors online, but I kind of look at them as like glorified kind of yellow pages, right? You get on there and you can search for contractors and you basically just get referred to them, and you get spammed a lot for these services. And at the end, you know, when you go through all these questionnaires and everything, you get this big list and you still got to pick somebody, you got to call them, you got to schedule them, you got to do all that. And I'm like, this is not, you know, there's got to be a better way. So I came up with ezPro, the direct booking solution. So anyways, one of the things that ezPro had too that I saw a lot of other people didn't have was, or a lot of the competition didn't have, was a consistent theme. So even though some of them did like plumbers and HVAC guys and landscapers and stuff, but they're also doing like massage therapists and house cleaning and unrelated kind of things. So I wanted to have a consistent theme for a trusted network, and build that theme around these 3 fundamentals of inspection, maintenance, and repair or replace. So the world of contractors, you can go all over the place. You can build buildings, you can build houses, you can fix the houses, you can remodel the houses. And I didn't want to get into all the remodeling and all that stuff at this point. I just wanted to focus on the main things of inspection, maintenance, and repair. So we also are going to be kind of like the brokering of it. That's the other thing I saw going down the path. And you know, I hired some people that worked at Handy and Angie's List, and I had them come to my house, and I saw how the process works and all that. And, you know, one of the other pain points for hiring contractors is the trust. A lot of people don't trust the contractors. You hear all these stories, people hire contractors and then they pay them and then they don't finish the job or whatever. So we're going to be kind of like a brokering of that in between. So you pay us and then we don't pay the contractor until the job's done right. And one of the reasons I wanted to bring up this pitch deck is because I wanted to give you a little demonstration of the app and how it works. You can see the app, the website and go on there, but I want to show how easy it is to book a job. So in this example, I'm going to book an HVAC service. So that's the homepage of the app. You'd click HVAC, select tune-up, what kind of tune-up you want. You get the terms or what's going to go on the job, what you have to have there or what to expect. And then you can enter any notes that you want, any pictures or anything like that, but that's optional. You don't have to do that. Then you'll receive upfront pricing. You could do a book it for today or a future date or also reoccurring. You get a summary of the booking, accept the terms and conditions, and boom, you're booked. That's it. So I believe I timed that at like around 30 seconds. So it's pretty fast, especially if you know what you want. Obviously, if you're, kind of going through there, it might take a little longer, but and compared to the competition, it's much, much quicker. And then my business model is basically also different than the competition. The competition has to pay to be on Angie's List to be seen, and they get like a pay-per-click type setup. We're not going to do that. We're going to basically onboard the contractors, and they get paid, and we get paid, and it's a mutual deal, and they don't have to pay to be on the platform, at least on the onset. And anyways, competition, it's just me right now, the 3 team, I call it, me, myself, and I. And it's a pretty big market, $760 billion market. I'm looking for, investors right now, but that's part of what I'm going to talk about today is that looking for investors without going to market yet, not having any proof of or having any revenue stream is pretty difficult. So what I'm thinking right now is pivoting to a different scenario. I'll go ahead and get out of there. I'm thinking about pivoting to white glove my product for real estate offices or individual contractors, and maybe putting their name on it. So say like go to like a Remax or a Keller Williams real estate office and say, hey, do you want to use this product for your customers? Your real estate agents can provide this to your clients. And when you are going through the home buying process, you need to book inspections, you need people to come and fix things around the house, and then after you buy the house, you need to book like pest service and landscape services and pool services or whatever, and kind of use that under your brand just to kind of proof of concept and get it going. So it's kind of one of the couple ideas I'm looking to get my go to market before the main product launches. So anyways, with that, any questions or anything?
Great. So is there any questions for Jared?
I have a couple.
Go for it, Heather.
Oh, it's okay. I was just wondering, homeowner doing kitchens, whatever, the whole bottom stairs, right? Remodeling. Is there a way to do, I know you just did one example, but if you needed something like that, where you needed a couple things, not multiples at a time, not just a plumber, not just, I need a floor guy, I need this guy. And
yeah, so
I just under one contractor that has signed up with it, and then they find all those people like you normally would, or how does that work through the site?
So you could actually book multiple services simultaneously, or you could just do multiple individual bookings. But we're not going after remodeling and expansions and things like that right now. We're just really looking at the inspection, maintenance, and repair avenue out of the gate, because we want to really focus on kind of one category of items, or a few category of items, and really nail those and do those really well before we start doing everything else like remodeling and all that stuff, which can get pretty complicated. And
yeah.
and that, so we're more going to focus on, hey, you want to change some of your plumbing fixtures, or you have a pipe leak, or your AC is not working, or you need a landscaper to, a pool guy, something like that. It's more of the focus right now.
So would a contractor be able to, without contacting you, put their services on your platform, or is that something they would have to go?
And how do you
through
verify?
Yeah, so they can apply to be on our platform. And what we want to do is be very selective with who's on the platform, but they're going to apply to be on the platform, and we're going to vet them. So we're going to do a background check, and we're going to do an in-person interview. And, some of the things like in the in-person interviews that we're looking for is we just want people that are friendly, that are communicative. You can talk to them, and they show up to the door. You're not going to be kind of scared. No, what's that? The plumber butt crack and all that kind of stuff that try to avoid all that stuff, just have to more professional, friendly people, and, people that, quite pride in what they do,
Yeah. So do you plan to first roll out your service in Sacramento, or is it depending on, I know you talked about pivoting, and I just want to make a comment that does sound very realistic.
Yep.
But so do you plan to have this service be in Sacramento, or?
Yeah, I kind of skipped over the go-to-market plan, but definitely want to start in a smaller area. So I'm from here, and I have a lot of resources and contacts with contractors in the area. So I want to start in my home base, so Sacramento, and then Greater Sacramento, and maybe Central Valley, kind of like that, and then grow out from there. Definitely not trying to throw it out to the whole country at one time, or even all state or anything. Yeah. So start small market for sure.
But in the future, do you plan to go all of California?
I mean, Pipe Dream is, nationally, so across the United States. Yeah. But we'll see where it goes.
Totally.
I'm a realist, but I think it could really happen.
I had a question about how are you planning to keep your bidding accurate? Because I know just taking pictures and what the homeowner thinks is the problem more often than not is not the case. And there's probably something larger or no problem at all. How to mitigate that?
Yes. So that's a good question. And it's a lot of people's concern. They bring it up, with it. And being a contractor myself, I know that definitely can happen, right? So if you talk to somebody even on the phone and you're like, hey, what's going on with the problem? Hey, I got, my toilet's backed up, and you get there and it could be this whole larger problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to have to be part of the, disclaimer. So when I did the app, there's a little pop-up and it says, hey, look, that, problems can change, once we get to assess the issue. This is going to be, you're paying this price for us to show up and do X, Y, and Z and get up to, an hour or 2 hours of work. So we'll be clear with that going in. But contractors' times are usually valued at a certain dollar amount, right, for their time. So my kind of philosophy around it is value their time, get them paid, a fair wage for what they're doing. And we have a premium for booking through the app, just like you would order food services, right? You're paying more for the food. And when they get there, they can assess that situation. But see, a lot of the times, when they have a plumber, for example, they know if they have a clogged sink, 8, 9 times out of 10, they know it's going to cost, $250, $300, or an hour and a half worth of work. There are the times that it'll be different. And then we address those. And through the app, there's a price increase option. So they can hit a price increase, explain to the customer, they can get it and accept it if they want to, go forward.
Yeah. Of course.
I had a question. You had kind of talked about one aspect of you being different from your competitors in that you do inspection, maintenance, and repair. What other aspects make you stand out from your competitors?
Well, one of the main things I set out doing was the direct booking process, because a lot of the competition, if you go on an Angie's, for example, you go in there, there's several, 15, 20 steps you go through. And then at the end of all that, they give you a list of, 6, 8, 10 plumbers, for example. And then you still got to select one of those plumbers, right? All those plumbers are different rates.
Right.
And then once you select one of those plumbers, you got to call them, and then you got to coordinate with them, and you got to have them show up. So mine's direct booking, more like you order an Uber, you order DoorDash, you can order a plumber like that, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the big differences. And the next one is kind of brokering the deal. So you're gonna pay us and then we're gonna pay the contractor versus you paying the contractor and them not showing up or something happening like that, right? Or them not finishing the job correctly.
Yeah.
So we kind of hold those funds. You have X amount of time to say, yeah, the job was done right. And then we release the funds or we don't get paid, the contractor doesn't get paid, you know? So those are two big differences right there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For sure.
How do you mitigate like the response time? Like in a normal world, right? You call somebody, then they never call you back, or how do you know that do they respond to you and then you respond to the customer, or do they, the person?
So yeah, that's another good one. And I was really surprised to see, like, again, using Angie as an example, I hired a contractor through Angie and they send me an email or as a text, hey, did the contractor show up and were you happy? And they don't even know, right?
Right.
So with my app, down the road, we'll have more advanced features, to track them. But with our MVP right now, basically, if a contractor accepts a job, they have a 3-hour window to get there. And then if they don't feel they're going to get there, they have rescheduling options. And so does the contractor, or so does the user. So they can both communicate with each other and reschedule time. But we're going to require our contractors are responsible and they're communicative through the app, right? But when they get there and they accept the job and they start it, we know they're there. We know they started the job, right? So we know they've seen it. So that's kind of how we would, we have like tracking ability in there. And if we get a high level of, no shows and things like that, and those are contractors we start weeding out,
Right. It's a trust factor.
Yeah.
Then how do you know, like as me as a person going on there, how do I know that I'm getting the best rate? Say you have 3 plumbers here in Chico on your site and
so we don't want to be the cheapest service. And we, in a lot of some of the surveys that I've done in value add is some people care about just getting it done and getting it done right. And if this guy's $10 or $20 cheaper, we're not trying to be the cheapest one. We're trying to be a fair price. And you have that guarantee, that reliability behind it, right? They're going to charge a fair price, but you're going to get the job done right, and we're going to stand behind it, So
yeah, I'm just thinking if you have, your most trusted on there, but they're all within like $10 or $20 of each other. I don't know, from a contractor side and a customer side, right? Like, why didn't I get that job? Why, kind of both sides.
So when it goes out, we'll have the contractors are going to know the rate that we're going to pay them ahead of time, which is their fair market rate. And then we're going to have a little bit on top of that on the user side. So the contractors will see their rate, the users will see their rate, right?
Right.
And when they book it, so say they want a plumber, they'll book that and say it's $150 for the plumber to come for an hour, right? To show up to do X, Y, and Z for an hour. Right, that rate is we're going to pick that plumber for them, so they don't have to go between all these different plumbers. They just say, I want a plumber, it's 150. Okay, that sounds good to me. I'm booked this for 150. I just want it done. And then the plumber comes like that. So it's not looking at all the rates and doing all that kind of stuff. Now down the line with bidding and estimates, so if people do want bids and estimates for larger jobs, like to replace their air conditioning units and stuff, we're working, that's something we're working on.
Yeah, that's a bigger thing for sure.
We have some questions in the chat as well. What are the liability/insurance issues?
So I have, there's always liability issues, right, with everything you do. But I do have a contract with the service professionals. So they are responsible, like an Uber driver is responsible to carry their own insurance, and they have their own car. The contractors have their own tools, their own set. They're responsible for, Uber drivers are responsible for their driving. Contractors are responsible for their work. So we hold them accountable for the work that they do, which also we feel will weed out a lot of the less reliable contractors, because people that do good jobs, they know it, they're going to stand behind it, and we'll offer that guarantee to come back. Now, if something goes wrong and there's a leak or something like that, ultimately the contractor is reliable, and that's in the contract.
For sure. We also have another question. Have you nailed down your IP for this?
Well, I more have my unique selling propositions as part of this. and what I have already developed. I don't have any like patented, proprietary software for this. This is more just thinking different, doing things a little differently.
For sure. Any other questions?
I had a question like about your contractors from their side of it. Is it kind of for them, all their work is going to come through you, or is it kind of half and half?
It could be whatever. It could be they can subsidize a small amount. They can use us, one of the visions I have is like, as a contractor, is when you're doing, a lot of contractors are really good at what they do and they're really good with their hands and they can do all these things, but they don't like making marketing calls. They don't like making sales calls. They don't like doing all this stuff. They'd rather just have a job, show up at the job and do it. Right.
Yeah.
So one of the things I kind of envisioned is, a contractor can have just a white van and not worry about logos and websites and all this stuff and work from the app for themselves, because they're not working for us, they're working for themselves, and they can just contract jobs through us, right? We're the mechanism to get them jobs. They show up and do the jobs, and that's an ideal situation. But I know it'll probably be more likely a just a subsidizing of it. It's kind of like contractors. You advertise in multiple places. Contractors advertise on Google, they advertise on Angie's List, right? They're not getting everything just from one place, right?
Do you have Mike Diamond in Sacramento?
Mike Diamond?
Yeah.
Do I know him?
No, do you have that service in Sacramento? He's all over LA. He's a plumber.
No, what is Mike Diamond?
Okay, if the smell good plumber, we don't have Bubba come up. Yeah. It's an LA,
smell good plumber.
LA talk radio thing, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's like you can't get away from those damn commercials.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Mike Diamond. Yeah, look it up. Google it.
I'm writing that down. Yeah.
Oh, and another thing from the chat, you were asking this for your question. Maybe it should go out and be said. You're looking for a MongoDB, Express, React, and Node.js, which is a server-side JavaScript developer. That could be someone in the States doing that kind of stuff for you, or maybe a college student or something like that. Or
yeah, for sure. I'm open to that. It's just something.
They don't have to move to India.
No. I prefer it'd be nice to get somebody more local, that I can work with. And I'm kind of entertaining the idea of a technical co-founder with that.
One more in the chat.
Yeah.
I know.
So if I could find somebody that's really passionate about the project and good at that, and they bring in those technical skill sets, then maybe we can make a deal.
Like I said, it's not me, so it's going to be someone who's more current.
Yeah.
You want to read that other? Yeah.
We actually, do you want to ask or do you want me?
Yeah, who are you actually doing the marketing? And I know you mentioned the real estate market, which I think when you first started, I put realtors ? On my notes right here on my phone. I think that's awesome. The other thing that came up are, obviously you're a contractor, so you're affiliated with the contractor associations. Like here we have Chico Builders Association, Valley Contractors Association. In fact, I tagged them in our social post that Chanel did. Are you reaching out to those different associations throughout, the county down there? Or, how many contractors do you have, I guess, currently, and what's your goal for that area?
I haven't reached out to any associations. It was my goal upon, getting ready to launch, but I haven't launched yet. So, but that's definitely, it's a great idea, right? It's like, obviously, if you're going out there, you want to be tightly involved with these and educate contractors on what you're doing and kind of get the buy-in of these associations and stuff in their backing, right? Show that, hey, like we're a win-win, or it's a win-win-win, all the way around.
Start doing demos, right? Just start doing and have them use it.
Yep. Sign them up, have them use it, and
have them use
kind
it.
of see. Yeah. And one of the attractive things for them is, especially on the onset, where they don't have to pay to get on there, right?
Yeah.
Angie's List, you have nothing unless you bring the money.
Pay them something.
Right? Yeah, you have to pay them something.
I've never used that. So, who's doing your social media and your marketing? Are you doing that, or do you have?
Right now, just me. I am working with a marketing firm, a guy that I used to work with that did my commercials and marketing when I was doing my restaurants a while ago. And he used to work for ABC Media, and he broke off and he has his own firm now called OM. And so I've been working with him a little bit, but we haven't full on, we're just more strategy and lineup campaigns and how we want to go about doing it and all that kind of stuff. And so, and I've had the privilege, honor to talk to this guy that actually launched a company similar to this called Zengot in Canada. And so his was a gig economy type thing too, not exactly the same, but he was doing like house cleaning, air running and stuff like a TaskRabbit. And I've been in contact with him. So he's been giving me just a lot of great advice on, which steps as far as marketing to take and which ones are wastes of time and things like that. So it's,
there's so much out there.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool though to learn from somebody like that,
That's cool.
So someone asked, who are your direct competition and adjacent competitors? Well, I think you already kind of talked about that in your slide deck.
Yeah, it was in there, but I kind of skipped over it fast. So Angie's List is like the biggest, they're a $1.6 billion company, annual revenue last year, right? $760 billion industry, right, nationwide. So they got the biggest chunk. But then outside of that, you have companies like Home Advisor, Porch, Handy would be the closest similarity to what I'm doing. But then you have, TaskRabbit and all those kind of things, all these different services. So there's several out there, but for me, I see that as a good thing because, there's obviously people that want these kind of services and we're going to be just take a totally different take on it. So we'll be that different niche, in that market. Right.
Right. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, cool. So for our final question, we just want to know, what can we here at 1 Million Cups Chico do for you?
I would love, I put a couple things in the chat up there. I would love just any more honest to goodness feedback. Like, this doesn't sound right to me. I wouldn't do it because, or whatever, right? Or it seemed like this was missing. Any kind of really honest, good feedback that you see that there's a problem or something that doesn't really sit well with you. Because that'll help me tune in on my pitching of the company, explaining the company, but also maybe look for other opportunities. I put my website up there too. You can kind of go on there and check it out. I'd love any feedback for that. And then if I'm not asking too much, I was looking for a developer or that video guy that's in the background. I'm looking for a video guy, any digital guys, things like that. I'm just looking for resources right now, make connections. And,
yeah, we can
so
connect you. Yeah, the video guy that's here called Watershed Media, and they do a lot of our stuff. So for Chico Start, who's 1 Million Cups is a program under our Chico Start nonprofit. But the other thing that just came to mind too was that as you're moving along, and I haven't looked at your social, so I apologize if you're doing this, but testimonials.
Yeah, so I don't have any testimonials because I don't have any. Yet,
you get to that point.
Yeah, but for sure, like as I launch, I mean, there's obviously so many things you can do, but blog content, social media content, and testimonial content and all that,
What is
all
their
about
launch
that
date?
content.
Sorry, what was your launch date? Just so we know.
Well, my launch date, that's part of my journey. My launch date is kept moving out. I started this journey with this firm in India, and it was supposed to be like 6-8 months, like 3 years ago. And, a lot of things have happened kind of in between there, and I've kind of broke away and done other things in between. Nobody was relying on me. So, I kind of took the time just getting out of a really busy career before. So I kind of let it as an opportunity to kind of get it. But I'm really hoping this year is like, I got to do something this year. It's this, by summertime. And I'm giving myself, by the end of the year to either launch the platform or get into real estate or pivot and the other scenarios or it's time to move on,
Okay. Well, keep us posted on when you launch. I know we want to, our chapter wants to kind of go back to our presenters and see what are they doing now? Or they,
Yeah,
so we would love to feature that. So please keep us posted.
Yeah, hopefully when you're looking at what am I doing now, it doesn't have a headstone with a rip. But who knows?
Be optimistic.
I think your website looks great. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I do too. I mean,
I really do like it.
It really is. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Looks easy to use. Perfect.
It's pretty sexy, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna
look at it.
Yeah, cool. I appreciate all your guys' questions and everything, really, and some good little tips, and I appreciate that.
Alrighty, we're gonna do some closing statements and finish this out.
Thanks, Jared.
All right.
One second. Okay, cool. So just to close this out, my name is Chanel Hamilton. I'm your host organizer, and Eva Shepherd is our chapter lead. We want to thank our community sponsors, Chico Star, Grow Tech, Global Entrepreneurship Network, T-Bar, Build.com, Startup Grind, Explore Butte County, and Stonewall Coffee, of course. We don't have many upcoming events going on, but next week we will be right here on Zoom at 9 a.m. or as we're gonna have Gunnar presenting his business Tackling Tackle. So you guys can for sure join us, and you can scan that QR
Is
code.
that football or fishing?
I don't know, ask him. And that QR code takes you to our newsletter. Thank you guys so much for coming out to One Million Cups Chico today.
Let's give him one more round of applause.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great day.
Nice meeting you guys.
All right.